Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of In the Valley podcast. Today, I have Hernan Hernandez with Dumpin' AZ. It's a demolition company here in the Valley, and get this, the guy is only 22 years old. So, again, Dumpin' AZ with Hernan Hernandez. What's up, Hernan? How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Of course, brother, of course. You nervous?
A little bit. First podcast, so a bit nervous.
Don't be
not
too
gonna lie.
nervous. We're just talking.
Yeah, just talk.
Man, thank you for coming out, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. It's a pleasure coming out here and talking and all that.
Yeah, and we've done a lot of work together. I send you a lot of business. First off, before we get into your backstory, what is it that you do anyway?
We do demolition, junk removal. So
Okay.
basically, exterior, interior. We demolish tile, cabinetry, drywall, basically anything that you want to get rid of. That's what we do. Same with junk hauling as well. We do junk hauling. We remove any type of junk that you guys have. We don't care what it is. Take it. That's what we do.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool, okay. So let's rewind. So obviously that's where you are today, but let's rewind. Are you from Arizona?
Yes, from Arizona, born and raised.
Born and raised. Not a lot
Born
of
and
people that
raised.
are born and raised here in the Valley.
Nope.
So tell us a little bit about it. You're only 22 years old. What, you could take us back maybe to, I don't know, high school or actually growing up. Did you, like, what made you go into the entrepreneurial space? Did you see your parents have their own business? Did they work a normal job, or how did that work?
Yeah, so growing up, my dad actually was his own boss. As long as I can remember, my dad was always his own boss. He would have workers for him and stuff like that, and I really looked into that. He would also take me to work as well, so I can remember going into work as before even kindergarten. I would go in there with the little broom, sweep up, so I was always around him. He was always working. I love my dad to death. I'm always chasing after him, always trying to be with him, and he really taught me that.
What did he do?
He's a drywaller, so he has a drywall company. That's what he does, just strict drywall. He does a little bit of framing here and there. Mainly just drywall. It's just him and two other guys, but he's been doing this for about, like, I think 25 to 26 years now.
Okay.
Like, he's been moving, yeah, and all over Arizona. He's not from here.
Okay, yeah. What about your mom?
My mom, she does not work at all, so she's a stay-at-home mom.
She stood at home.
Yeah,
Okay,
so.
that's fair. So growing up then, I mean, take us back to what was your first job? Did you ever have a first job? Did you just end up working with your dad? How did that work?
So I guess technically my first job would be with my father, doing drywall. But if you want to go into like high school and stuff like that, my very first job was I was a busser at a Mexican restaurant for about 2 weeks with my sister. Yeah, my sister was a waiter, and she got me in the job. And then for about 2 weeks we were working together, and then we left.
What, you quit or what?
Yeah, we ended up quitting because we got into some conflict with one of the waiters there.
Okay.
My cousins actually came by to eat there. And while they were eating there, I guess like their waiter was being like a complete asshole to them, and he wasn't refilling the drinks and stuff like that. And I don't validate my cousins doing this, but them being the way that they are, they tipped him a penny, which is not fair. But
of course. Yeah.
the dude who was waiting them, he took it out on my sister instead of me, and I just got mad. He was yelling at my sister in front of everybody, and my sister was crying. She was like tearing up.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, what's going on? And don't yell at my sister. And then that was kind of went from there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You have a sister. How many siblings you got?
Just her, just the one.
Okay. So just a sister.
Yeah.
So it's just you two growing up.
Yeah, just us two. We just had each other.
She's
growing up.
older, you said?
Yeah.
What
I'm
does
the
she do
youngest one.
now?
She actually she's a banker, but she has her own gym fitness Instagram. She has about 20,000 followers on there. Yeah, so she's doing pretty good on that. She started this year barely. She's really into the gym. She's always been into the gym.
So health fitness industry.
Yeah, health fitness industry is what she's really into. So.
Cool. That's fun. Your dad set that example of an entrepreneur being your own boss.
Definitely.
Because even though your sister works at the bank, she's now starting to explore that entrepreneur side, and then you went from right away. After that job, did you get another job?
Yeah, I worked at Little Caesars for about all of my senior year, and then after that, I would graduate in 2020. So I don't know about the whole COVID thing.
Shit, 2020, bro.
Yeah.
When the fuck were you born? What year?
2001. I was born 2001.
Oh Lord, man, that's insane. 2020 is when you graduated.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were working at Little Caesars, then what?
Yeah, I was working at Little Caesars full time, and then March came around, spring break, and then we just never went back to high school. That was it. We just didn't.
Oh, you were one of those COVID kids.
Yeah, I was a COVID.
Okay,
COVID graduate. That's
so
what you want to call it.
Did you even have a real graduation?
But no, I went to the drive-in, and they just we had to go into school individually. They would call the seniors one by one because we weren't allowed to be in the same building. And I remember going in there, and my principal would just be like, Hernan Hernandez, and a fake applaud would come on, and I would just walk up on stage while they recorded me. Yeah, so that was it. That was my graduation. And
Wow. So you didn't even have a prom?
no, didn't have a prom, didn't have any of that. Nothing. It just
Wow,
one
that
day.
sucks, dude.
Yeah, we just went to school one day and never came back. That was it. Reality hit me
Damn.
pretty hard.
Yeah. Shit. So did you just do online school for your senior year?
No, we graduated by default. Like our grades for the spring for that semester, that's what our grades were for the rest of the year. If you
And
didn't,
then you didn't have to go to school?
no, like I wasn't
Oh,
failing
hell
any
yeah.
classes or anything like that. So they were just like, yeah, if you're not failing, then
You're good to go.
you're good to go. You're gonna graduate in like a couple months now. Just I don't know. They did some online school for about a week or so, but it wasn't doing so well. It was like the first time they were doing that, and everyone was just messing around, and they cut that off pretty
Damn.
quickly.
So you got out early.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
nice.
early. Yeah.
It's nice and bad, but you didn't get to experience like some of the senior year stuff.
No, which I don't really mind it, but it is what it is.
Cool.
So.
Cool. So after that, obviously you were a COVID graduate. So from there, what exactly did you do? Were you still working at Little Caesars?
From
Like,
there,
how did you transition from Little Caesars to On?
it's on. Okay, so what I did here was I was working at Little Caesars. School got canceled. As soon as my dad heard the news, school's canceled, I'm not going back to school. He was like, all right, quit Little Caesars. You're coming to work with me. That's what I did. So I was
Okay.
like, yeah, I quit. And I went to go work with him. He was like, I'm gonna take you under my wing. I've been working for a very long time.
Did you want to do that?
No, I did not. I wanted to go
Oh.
to college. I wanted to be a dentist.
A dentist?
Yeah,
Okay.
I wanted to be a dentist. But he told me, you know what, like 1 year off, come with me. You know, we'll work together. And that's what I did. We were working together. I had no idea about house flipping, no idea about any real estate, no clue. And then one of my dad's clients was a huge house flipper. And I remember him just giving my dad work so frequently. And I would always see this guy, and he's always driving these nice cars and always coming in and just, all right, here's this and this. He's a new house. And one day I just asked him, like, hey, what do you do? What is this? What are you buying? Are these your houses? And he told me what house flipping was. And I told him, like, hey, what can I do to help you? What is there that you have a problem with that I can help with? And he said, my demo guys suck. And I didn't even know demolition was a thing. I didn't know what that was. I thought each trade did their own demo. I thought if the drywallers did their demo. And
okay.
Yeah, I didn't know demolition was like a whole...
Yeah, its own industry.
Its own industry, yeah. He told me about demolition, and he told me I had a new house, disgusting. First job I ever got back in 2020, end of 2020 around there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember going in, I told my brother-in-law, I'm like, hey, you want to come help me? I'm down.
Your brother-in-law?
Yeah, my brother-in-law.
Okay.
So I started
That's the
with
dude that's always with you.
No, that's my best friend.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my best friend. No.
I was wondering if you're gonna bring him in today.
No, yeah, he's out working right now. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
I
so
should have.
Your brother-in-law. Okay.
So I
go
started out with
ahead.
my
Continue
brother-in-law.
your story.
Yeah. So we go in. I tell him, hey, I got a house. We got to throw away some trash. We got to destroy kitchen, tile, carpet. I've never done this before. You're 30. Help me out. You know, more than me. He was like, all right, let's go. We walk in. Disgusting, man. Like, I've never seen worse living conditions in my
Where
life.
was it at?
It was in Phoenix, man.
Okay.
It was a Phoenix house. Yeah. Nice neighborhood. Nice neighborhood. And you walk in and it just smells like death, man. Like there's rotten meat everywhere. There's piles and mountains of trash everywhere. And I remember.
I seen them on pictures. Like when I usually go into the flips, demo's already done.
Yeah.
So it's like I've never seen something like that bad, or videos, movies, and shit. But yeah, it's crazy. So you seen this? That was your first job.
That was my first job. So I walk in, I see mountains of trash covered in.
Wait, so
just
how did you even
feces.
know to go over there? The guy just told you, like,
yeah, he was like,
hey, obviously my demo guys suck, but this is how you can help me. Go demo this house for me.
Yeah, basically just like that. He was like, here's the address. I had no tools, nothing. He was like, this is what needs to be done. He just told me kitchen needs to be removed, tile, this and this. There's a bunch of trash. I'm going to have a 40-yard container out there.
Okay.
Just throw the trash in there for me, and we'll see. If you do a good job, we'll continue on. And that's what we did. I remember, didn't know how to charge, nothing. Yeah, that job would have been, that job probably would have been like $5,000 job, easily.
And what do you pay you?
$700.
Hey, but you learned.
Yeah, I learned. I didn't know. He told me, for me, 700 in 3 days was crazy. I was making like 150 a day.
Okay, with your dad.
Yeah, with my dad. So we did it in, I think it was 2 days actually, not 3 days. We did it in 2 days, 700. I paid my brother-in-law $400. So it was a pretty good outcome. I've never had that much money like right away. So yeah. I was like, wow, this is something I can do.
How do you like your job?
I love it.
No, how did he like you? Your work?
How did he? Oh, that guy, he loved it. He loved it. Okay. He was like, wow, you guys, because we swept. I guess those guys, they don't sweep. A lot of the demo guys don't sweep, pick up by themselves. Like all the dust and all that stuff, they just leave it there because they're like, oh, it's going to get dirty anyways.
Yeah.
But that's not how I am. I want you to walk in and the floor to be spotless. I don't want you to be like, oh, it's just demo. It's going to be messy. More guys are going to work here. More trades are going to come in. I don't care. Like, I want my work to look clean. I like that. Yeah. So
yeah. So then how did it continue on from there?
So from there, he just kept on giving me more work.
And you were doing this while working with your dad too?
Yeah. So
okay. So you would just do the jobs like after work or something?
No. So I would take a day off with my dad. He did not like that. He was pretty mad at that when I was starting off. Yeah. He was like, hey man, what are you doing? Like, this is just like a side job. Like, stop going into it. Like, come with me. Like, you're missing work because of this. What are you doing, man? Come back. And I was like, no, I think I found something. Like, I like this. Like, I'm my own boss. We're just throwing away trash. We're just doing some demo. We're learning.
It's not like you were doing like rocket scientist shit.
Yeah, it's not.
Like, you didn't have to go learn a trade.
You didn't got to measure nothing.
Go measure anything. The guy tells you, break this, throw it away.
Yeah, and the more you do it, the more you realize there's different ways to break stuff. You think you go in and you just go crazy. No, you got to pick up a lot of trash if you're going crazy. If you learn how to disassemble stuff and do it that way, I promise you, your job will go so much faster, so much cleaner. And that's how we do it. Yeah. We don't just go in, breaking cabinets.
Like on the TV.
Yeah, no, heck no. Yeah, no, nothing like that.
On the shows.
Yeah, nothing like that, man. No, we just basically unscrewing stuff all day long. It's a gun. We're just unscrewing the cabinets, breaking them down on the container, because we don't want to save them enough space as much as we can.
So you went from your first gig. I think I want to hit on that a bit because one thing that kind of stood out to me a lot in just that beginning part of the story was you seen something that you really wanted.
Yeah.
And instead of just saying, damn, I wish I had it.
Yeah.
You went and had the guts to go ask the person, yo, I want to do, obviously you're making a good amount of money. I see you drive cars like this. Like, how can I help you? And you didn't say, hey, how can I do the same thing you're doing? You said, how can I help you? And I think that's the reason why he was willing to teach you a bit more.
I think so too, yeah, because I'm just like, I've always growing up the way that my dad is, I've always been looking for more. I don't like being too comfortable all the time.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I guess when that happened, you're making $150 a day, having to take some days off to grow a business that you didn't think was going to be a business anyway.
Yeah.
But just doing some of these gigs, and then I guess what made you realize, yo, I need to stop working with my dad full time and just do this full time? Was it because, I don't know, what made you come up with that decision? Because you said your dad was mad.
Yeah. First things first, I love my dad to death, but we're always clashing heads. I don't know. Working with your father never goes out the way that you want it to be. Yeah, so we're always just getting into arguments about just little stuff, and I wanted it to work as bad as he wanted it to work. That's my dad. Having a business with your father, that's an amazing dream.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Dope.
That's dope. Yeah, but it was just getting bad, man. Think about it like this. You go to work, and then you come home, and your boss is there.
It's true. Okay, because you're fucking young, so you're still living there with him.
Yeah, I was 18. I'm coming home, and he's still there, and he's, oh, you didn't do this today, and this, and oh, this and this. And I
felt
just
like you're always working.
Yeah, I felt like I was always working, man.
No father-son relationship anymore.
No, it was just like he's my boss, and I live with my boss. That's what it was. And it sucked. And I started working with my brother-in-law, and I'm like, you know what? There doesn't have to be a boss. We can just, if we all agree that this needs to be done at a certain time, and we can just all work together and help each other out. No bosses. I don't like being called a boss. I don't like being called a manager. I hate that.
Why?
I don't know. I don't like that, man. I don't
split the money if you don't like being called a boss.
Yeah, obviously I got to split, it's different that way. When it comes to that way, it's way different. But when it comes to the working environment, I don't like to boss my guys around. They already know what to do.
They know what to do.
Yeah, and they know what I should be doing as well.
Okay.
And we build that relationship pretty well now. And like, I don't think I've ever yelled at any employee or anything like that. And my dad just always yelled. I hated that. Always at everybody. Any little mistake, anything, oh, you didn't scrape the floor right. Oh, you missed this. He just throw a big old tantrum, and you just, the rest of the work day, you didn't even want to work. You're just all sad. Like,
nah, that's fair. That's good. And I think that's another thing too. A lot of successful people, they think, oh man, your parents must have been like so good. Like, what did they do to, I get the question all the time. Like, what did they do like to make you the person you are today? And I think sometimes the reason why I feel most successful people are really successful is because they actually learned from their parents or grandparents or whoever raised them.
Yeah.
But maybe doing the opposites. Yeah. Rather than you saying like, yo, I love being a boss because I want to do it just because my dad did it.
Yeah.
You realize, hey, yes, that's an industry I'd like to be, but here's some things that I don't like what he's doing that I can probably change to make my business more efficient.
Yeah.
So that's pretty dope. I like that. When you decided though, like, we went sidetracked, but
Yeah, I apologize for that.
No, you're good. Good. We're talking. This is a conversation,
Yeah.
bro. So when you ended up saying, what made you realize that?
That was it. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm jumping.
obviously you're living with your boss
Yeah.
now. It's your dad, but
Yeah.
when did that light bulb flick of
Just-
like, you know what, I probably should just do this full time?
Yeah. I guess I got about 3 jobs in about 1 month. And I believe I made, off of those 3 jobs, I think I made like $4,000.
Okay.
And that was profit. And that just opened my eyes so much. And I'm like, I'm making $4,000. I love what I do.
And you only did it what? Maybe 2, 3, 4 days.
Yeah, it was like 2, 3, 4 days. This is
Per
I don't
job.
even make this monthly with my dad. Like,
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't even make
Yeah.
this monthly, and that's me working like every day.
Yeah.
I worked like maybe, I don't know, a total of 6 days that month with doing demo, and I made $4,000. And that was like, to me, I was like, wow, like that. You know, it's not just a money thing, but I'm like, dude, like I can.
No, it is a money thing.
you're right,
Because
yeah.
it is a money thing because I think a lot of people think, especially in today's world, people are so comfortable with the consistent check.
Yeah.
And if you add it up, especially in the environment that we're in today of everyone's thinking we're in a recession, everybody thinks the market's kind of going down. But in reality, could you stick with your job your job is full commission-based job pretty much.
Yeah.
You only get paid when you work.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are thinking, man, I should just get a consistent check because it's consistent and then there's no risk.
Yeah.
But in reality, in my opinion, you're getting paid $150 a day.
Yeah.
So what? $150 times 5, what is that?
700.
$700?
Yeah.
$700 a week.
Mhm.
When you could make that from one job.
Yeah. Just
And
blew
you
my
only
mind.
work one day or maybe 2.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I'd like to tell people on this show. Like, yes, is it scary? But in my opinion, all right, you could say risky.
It is. It's extremely risky. It's terrifying even at some points. You're like, damn, 2 weeks no check, and then you just got to keep going, keep pushing yourself.
Yeah.
Especially when you got like workers too, and then
That's
you're like, I got to keep them busy. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna leave, and if they leave, and I got a job next week, I'm by myself. I'm screwed.
That's
so
true.
that it's terrifying. But then
What about that first month then? Like you said, you did, 3, 4 jobs and made $4,000.
Yeah.
Did the guy? Was it all for that same guy?
yeah, all from
So
just
he
one guy.
had the job then similar to the other one where he already had the container out in the front yard.
Yeah, so
Okay.
starting off, he always had a container for me. Always, it was always getting the container, and that was so easy because I didn't have to buy a dump trailer. I just had to buy. I just had
gotta
to
show
work,
up.
just show up, buy my
No
hammers,
overhead.
nothing. Yeah, pretty solid gig that I had. I found myself, and everything was running pretty smoothly. But then I'm like, okay, I can't just have one client. What if he stops flipping houses? This dude's making so much money, he can just walk away and not have to do this anymore if he wants and live the rest of his life
Now
not
you're
working.
screwed.
And now I'm screwed.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do for money?
And you were still thinking about this while working for your dad.
While working for my dad. So during the month of December is when it really started to take off. I was working like crazy. This was the year 2020. We're going crazy.
Yeah, market was hot.
Yeah. So I remember working a lot with my dad and doing demos, and I just figured out what I was trying to do. And it just clicked, and I was like, you know what? Like, if you like this demo stuff, like just run with it. And I did. And the way I got away with it was,
How'd your dad take it?
so my dad took it. He was pissed. He was really mad. He was really mad. He was like, you're not doing this. No. And I remember him saying, it's not going to work out. You're working barely anything. Don't jump yet. Stay with me. And once you see a consistency, then fully jump. But I was like, no, because then I'm not going to have 100%.
Time to go over there.
Yeah, I'm not going to have the
dedicate 100%.
Exactly. I got to put 100% to this. I can't just put 50%, 40%. That's not going to make me anywhere. I'm going to move so slow if I move like that. I wouldn't even be talking to you right now if I listened to him. You know what I mean? I just said, you know what, Dad? No, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. And my weeks are booked. I lied. I said, my weeks are booked, dude. I showed him these fake old jobs. They weren't even mine. Yeah. And I remember even driving, like getting ready for work in the morning, not having work, and just sitting in a parking lot for 6 hours, man, on my phone, just acting like I worked. And coming home just so I can have that approved for my dad, that approval.
His mentality, and this is the same way as my dad, they're labor intensive.
Yeah.
So if you're not out every single day, they're
Exactly.
assuming you're not working.
They're just like, he's being a lazy, he's just laying down, eating my
you're
food.
assuming that you're not working, when in reality, you did work maybe 1 or 2 days and you already made your money. So you don't need to work every freaking day.
Exactly. And either way, if the days that I don't work, I still got to push out clients, find people on Instagram, make some posts, do what I can to reach out other clients. And that's what I would do on my days off. But those days off, he would want me to work with him. How am I gonna find clients if I'm working with him? And if I'm on my phone, he's gonna be so mad at seeing me on my phone.
Yeah, because they're thinking you're just texting or chilling on Instagram.
Exactly. So I just lied. I'd fake it till you make it. Like about 2 months of me just nonstop, and then he was finally like, "All right, I see you're serious about this. You're staying busy." And he said, "Yeah, I go for it." And then I sold my truck.
You sold your truck? Okay,
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah, continue.
Sold my truck because I got his approval. I felt like I was doing something right. And I was like, all right, you know what? Screw my truck. I think you've seen it.
The red one,
yeah,
right?
the red Chevy.
Yeah.
I bought that actually before high school, before I graduated.
That was the first job you pulled up in.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
And you were in a big ass red truck. And I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, this dude must be doing pretty good.
Dude, I bought that truck with the money from my dad working with him, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I saved up in high school. I was saving up throughout high school. And then the whole March when I started working at Little Caesars, I was able to get a good down payment. I bought my truck. I was, new truck, trying to be all cool. But then it hit me like, this is not making me money. Sitting in my garage, it's costing me $300 bucks a month to even have it in my garage. And when I drive it out, it's just a gas guzzler. What am I doing with this? I owe $10,000 on this truck. It's just, I'm drowning in debt. What am I doing? So then I was like,
and
dude,
used car sales went up like crazy
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
So what happened? You ended up selling the car?
Yeah, so I bought it for 20, sold it for 25. Pretty good. And then I think I made like about $15,000. I had cash.
You had 15 cash.
Yeah, 15,000 cash. And then I felt pretty confident. And then I bought my dump trailer with that. Finally, my first dump trailer.
How the hell were you gonna pull the trailer with no truck?
I had I forgot to mention, I bought a work van before.
Okay.
That was before. So I bought my dad's old work van from drywall that was used for drywall. He sold this to me for about $3,000. It wasn't too bad. So I had the $3,000. I paid it. I paid it to him cash.
Okay.
And we were going to work in that. And I would rent a trailer from this guy. He was like my neighbor. He lives like 10 minutes away from me. And I'd pay him $600 a week, actually. $600 a week just to have the trailer for the 5 days.
That's a business I want to get into next.
Yeah.
Is renting trailers.
That is a good business.
Dope. So you were renting it.
Yeah.
And then that's when you decided like, yo, I'm spending $600 a week on this. I might as well go buy my own.
Yeah, I was like, this is another employee right here. This is basically I'm playing another employee. If I had my own, that 600 would be in my pocket right now. And my dad's telling me like, yeah, you're paying, you could be paying off your trailer with that. Why are you being an idiot? But then I was like, okay.
Yeah, if you didn't have enough money to buy the whole thing, you could be paying that a month.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, and you're paying $600 weekly, like when it would only be like $300 a month.
A month.
Yeah, so you're screwing yourself. And I was so hard headed, and I'm like, nah. If I didn't rent this trailer, I wouldn't be getting work. And I think I went like a whole year like that, just renting a trailer.
Oh shit.
Yeah, a whole year just renting a trailer. And
so what'd you do with the 15K? That's when you bought your own?
Yeah, I finally bought my own. And
What was the trailer?
15. So it literally
right on the dot.
Yeah, right on the dot. 15. It was like 14,800. So and then
yeah, pretty much 15.
15. Yeah, I have it now. That's what we're rocking in.
So how was the going? I mean, there's a lot to hit on there. You talked about number one, faking it till you make it.
Yeah.
I think that is so huge, bro, because a lot of people assume that you have to have all the answers right away.
Yeah.
And going into business, shit, you don't. It's
No.
just you're growing as it goes.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you're
figuring it
learning on the way as you're going, but you have to be 100% dedicated, like you said.
Yeah.
Number one, that was dope. And then number two, as far as that mindset, and I don't know if it's something that you learned along the way, like we talked about, or if you learned it from your dad, like if he helped you, but you to recognize, yo, I have this dope ass truck. I have to sell it because it's not making me money. Like growing up, you said you saved all that money and then bought the truck. So growing up, did you guys live pretty frugal?
Growing up until I moved. So I'm originally from Phoenix. And my dad, growing up, he was an immigrant, so it's really hard. My mom not working as well, and she got pregnant at 18 with my sister, and then 21 with me. So pretty young. They were pretty young, and they were already in Arizona. My dad, he was working at this one construction job, a safe job, getting a check weekly. And then his boss told him, like, hey, I'm not trying to scare you, but immigration's going to come in about a month to check all of my workers. I know you don't have papers. He's like, you are one of my best workers. And he literally told him, like, I'm going to have to let you go right now, because you're gonna get deported. I don't know what to tell you. And he was like, my dad was like, damn, what am I gonna do for work? He thought that he couldn't go any other construction job because he's gonna get deported, and that's the worst thing for him. He does not want to get deported.
Yeah.
He learned so much from that guy. I think he was working there for 7 years, man. Pretty long time.
Yeah.
He started when he was like 18, but he was working there for a while. And then let him go. He learned a lot. He learned a lot about drywall, and he went with my mom. My mom knew English at the time. She still knows English, but
She knew more than him.
yeah, she knows more than him. Obviously, me and my sister being like 1 and 3, pretty young, we can't help him out as much. My mom, she said that she would write him like little business cards on a note paper, and he would just go door to door knocking every day.
Old school.
Yeah, old school, and just saying,
Dormant.
you need drywall, and his English was really bad. He would just say drywall, and he'd hold a little sign saying drywall. Sometimes they'd say yes, sometimes they'd say no. They'd always say, majority of the time they'd say no, just slamming the door in his face. But he never gave up, man. And like because of that, we did live pretty, I guess, poor growing up. But I never noticed it because my dad was a hustler, man. Looking back, yeah, we were pretty broke, but
You couldn't feel it.
Yeah, I didn't feel it because my dad did everything he could to provide for us, and I'm just extremely grateful for that. Growing up, he had to grow up out of all of his brothers. He had to grow up first. I think life hit him pretty hard first, more than any other of his brothers. So he was just always had that mentality of just being better. And I remember him telling me the story of he bought his first house, and his brothers were like, "What are you doing?" Because they were living in apartments, and they're like, "That is going to be so much money for you to spend. Don't be doing that.
Yeah.
You're screwing yourself." And he was paying, I think it was like $800 a month back then, like around like 2006, 2005, something like that. And it was basically his entire check. He was not making anything. He was barely scraping by. But because of that, that house that he bought, he got equity from there, and he bought another one. And then from there, I think he got equity from that one, and he told he made like $150,000 off of one house, cash. He sold it.
Okay.
And his dream was to build a house. And around 2014, he sold the house. We moved into an RV for about a year. I was in my 8th grade. I was like 8th grade, 13 years old, living in an RV with my sister, my dad, and my mom, cramped up in my cousin's backyard. It was a pretty bad time. But during that time, across the street was a house, and my dad was building that. He was building it.
So yeah, he bought the land.
Yeah, he bought the land. He demolished it. It was a crack house, so it was a crackhead house.
Okay.
And it blew up. It was a meth lab. It blew up. And so it was super cheap. I think he bought it for $70,000, half an acre, something like that. Yeah, nice. And then he bought it for $70,000, and the money that he had from the house and all the money that he was saving up from years and years, he just poured all of it into our house, just everything. And now thankfully, he has no house payment. He doesn't pay anything. I think the only thing he has to worry about is like water and like the truck bill, and nothing, and that's crazy. It. Nothing crazy. So like now, like they're going on cruises. They got a house in Rocky Point. They're doing living it up, and I'm super proud of them, of my dad, for doing that.
And I think that's what helped you live frugal. There's not a lot of people that save up their money to buy a truck.
Yeah.
I saved up money, and that's how I bought my first car.
Yeah.
Actually, no, when I graduated, I had saved up money, and I bought a car. I got my first car loan to build up some of my credit, and then I had to pay it off real quick.
Yeah.
But just the fact that you recognized, that's another thing I wanted to hit on. You recognized this truck, even though it was great and I bought it,
I still miss it.
Okay.
You know
See,
what I mean?
and that's what's dope, because a lot of people think like it's a sacrifice. Like, it is 100% a sacrifice, bro. 100%. That doesn't mean that you can't ever have that truck again.
Yeah, and I know I remember telling my girlfriend, like, hey, I'm going to get rid of this truck. Like, we're going to be struggling.
You thought she was going to dump you, huh?
Yeah, I was like, she's going to leave. Or, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's over. No, she's been with me for 7 years. So
okay, cool.
We're solid. So, yeah, I remember having that talk with her, and I was really nervous. Am I doing the right thing? Like, I'm selling the trailer. Like, we're going to be probably driving around my dad's work van, or it was my van at the time. Like, we're going to be driving around in the work van.
For a while. Yeah.
For a while, going on dates and stuff like that. And she was like, dude, like, you selling that truck in 10, 20 years from now, you can buy like 10 of those trucks if you do this dope. Right now. She's and
supportive. I like
yeah,
that.
she supported me through that.
Yeah,
and
you better wife her down.
Yeah, no, I am. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that helped me a lot. So I jumped, and I was like, all right, screw it. If she's not gonna mind driving in a beat up car,
she's the one.
Yeah, 100% she's the one. And screw it, man, dope. I'll do it.
And I think that kind of helped though, bro, because if that individual, your spouse, or maybe a close friend or whatever that you told that to, and they said, bro, you're dumb, like you probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That probably would have affected your decision.
Definitely, yeah.
So the fact that she was supportive of that, you were then able to sell it and then now expand your business by having a van cash. You now have a trailer cash. Yeah. So no debt. You don't have any debt in your business, which is dope, because a lot of people think, oh, it takes a lot of money to start a business.
Yeah.
But in reality, you bought your van for only $3,000.
Yeah.
And at the time, even if you didn't have the money, you were renting a trailer.
Yeah.
So you didn't need to have the full 15 right away. You built up that 15.
Yeah.
Sold something that can get you that 15. Now you have your trailer. And now that's what you guys are rocking today, right?
Sold the van, got a new work truck now,
Okay.
got stickers on it and stuff like that. I'm really excited about that truck. Like that, the van broke on me.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad had it for about 8 years, and then he gave it to me. I had it for about 1.5 years, and then it finally just broke down on us one day.
Okay.
And then I was like, I gotta get a truck, and then
So
thankfully,
did you buy a car yet? For
no,
yourself?
I don't. I'm on that right now. I'm still on that right now. I'm actually going to a dealership after this right now with my girlfriend. I'm gonna meet her up over there. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's dope. So you're still how long ago from when you started your business till now? It's already been what, like 3 years?
About 3 years, yeah. About 3, yeah.
So for 3 years, you haven't had your own personal vehicle. Been rocking your work vehicle, going back and forth. Does your lady have a vehicle?
Not 3 years. I guess about like 1.5 years, like
Okay.
1.5 years, about around there. But yeah, my lady has a vehicle, but since the work truck is pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? It's a single cab. It's a 2013 Ford F-250.
Okay.
The only thing that's bad about it, I just gotta detach the trailer every now and then, and
Yeah.
then it does stink in there because the smells from the houses
Yeah,
get on our
bet.
clothes. It gets on our shoes. It's just a
Yeah, should
funky
I
smell in
seen
there.
the other day you guys posted you guys were in freaking masks. You guys were masked up, had the
Yeah,
whole suits on,
yeah.
hazmat suits on.
Yeah, man, we gotta get like that sometimes, man. People, you'd be surprised at these houses, man. People do some pretty nasty stuff. They'll pee on their wall instead of going to the restroom in their room.
Wow.
People will wake up and be like, "Oh, the bathroom's too far." I don't know if that's depression or lazy. I don't know what that is, man. But
Yeah.
just pee on the wall, and you can see the stains on the wall. And I'll have to cut that drywall out, and it's all
Yeah.
wet. It's bad, man. It's
So
nasty.
what made you guys go? Actually, let me rewind a bit.
Yeah.
So you now got your trailer.
Okay.
Clearly, your business is doing good.
Uh-huh.
So you said that 1 month you made $4,000.
Okay.
That was like 3-4 jobs. Now, how many jobs are you guys averaging per month?
Per month, I'd like to say, I guess it really differentiates. Weekly, we do about 3 to 4 jobs a week.
Wow.
So I guess that's on a really good week, 3 to 4.
Yeah.
And usually that fills up our week because not each job is going to be a one-day job. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So you're getting pretty consistent jobs.
Yeah.
Anywhere from 10 to 15 jobs a month.
around 10 to 15 jobs a month. So we've been pretty busy, and it's been like that for this entire year.
Wow. Thank God. Yeah. That's dope.
Thank God. And I'm just want to get more, and I want to expand. I want to get my
Do you
commercial
now have
license.
more? We'll touch on, but do you now have more than that one individual that you work with?
Oh yeah.
How many people are you working with now? Like realtors,
Oh,
flippers, like how many
I-
people are your clients? Have
I
you
think-
kept track?
yeah. I counted a couple like 2-3 months ago. I just got a new one yesterday.
Okay.
But I think it was around like 16, 17 clients. And
I think that was dope, and that's what I wanted to hit on because a lot of people think that you need to have 100 clients.
no,
Literally, even 5 to 10 would keep you freaking busy.
the guy who I started with, I still do work with him. If I just stayed with it, I would have been fine with just that guy. You know what I mean? Like,
knew, hey, I had to go more, but yeah, that's dope. Like,
Yeah,
it
like-
doesn't take a lot of clients to truly make a lot of money. It's dope.
You got to keep moving, man.
I
how you
like
do
that.
it, yeah.
So that's when you started realizing that. What made you now advertise for junk removal? Because you were only doing demo.
Yeah, I was only doing demolition, and then I got my dump trailer, and I was like, well, I can haul trash now. Like people have trash all over the place. Like spring cleaning is like a big deal for some people, and like they want to get rid of so much trash. And a lot of times they don't have a trailer or a truck even to haul that trash out, and they got to call like a cousin who's got a truck, and then or I go to Home Depot and rent a truck. I'm like, dude, give me a call. I got my trailer. I'll pull up, clean it out, and
You'll do the work for them.
yeah, I'll do the work
and you
for
remove
them,
it.
and I remove it. Everything like that's how we roll, man. And
What would you say today is your business? 60% demo and then the rest cleanup? Or would you say 80% demo?
we're honestly at a good 50-50 right now.
That's dope.
We're at a pretty good 50-50. I want to touch on more junk hauling just because it's less hazardous to the body. You know what I mean? Like I work with a lot of black mold and stuff like that.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm 22. You know what I mean?
Trying to last long in the business.
Yeah, I want to last long. I deal with a lot of asbestos and just like nasty houses, man. Which I don't mind it. I love it. It's definitely a story. I got a lot of stories to tell because of
For
that.
sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
But a lot of the times, like I want to be good. I want to make sure I'm good. Like sometimes I'm eating a burger and I get a smell of a house and it just hits me and I start to gag and I can't even eat the burger no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's been coming pretty frequently. So I just want to
Yeah, slow that part down.
slow that part down just a little bit.
I think another thing I want to hit on too, just to give the audience, and again, you don't need to tell me
Yeah.
how much money, but truly as a junk, because your business isn't sexy.
Yeah.
Your
no.
business is dirty, but it's also simple.
Yeah.
So with that being said, on average, how much can a demo job pay and how much can a cleanup pay? And I know it varies.
Yeah,
I know there's
definitely.
if you're tearing out cabinets and tile,
Yeah.
and then the only one you're only moving drywall. I understand there's
Yeah.
a difference, but on average, how much can a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot house, full demo
Okay.
make? And then how much can pulling up to somebody's spring cleaning and hauling off their stuff make?
Yeah. So I guess it really depends for the junk hauling part because I go off of how many loads it is.
Okay.
The more loads, the more trash you got, obviously it's going to be more expensive.
Correct.
And then for the demolition part, I guess I just charge per whatever I'm doing. So I'll see, okay, what does the kitchen look like? I'll charge per box. So if it's a smaller kitchen, I'll just charge, I don't know, like $10 a box or something like that.
Okay.
I'll count the faces. I'm like, okay, this is how much for the kitchen. And then if you want me to remove granite, stuff like that.
And how did you learn? You said you went from $700
Yeah.
for the first job. Did you start doing more research? Like,
Yeah.
How did you learn like how to properly bid?
Yeah, I started doing a lot of research. Thankfully, like I have a lot of people in my family who own their own businesses. So my uncle, he owns his own duck. I don't know why I call it duck. It is Duck Septics. He owns like a septic company. I would go to him and ask him like, how do you charge for this? Like, I know it's completely different work clearing out a septic tank and doing demolition. I would be like, how would you how do you find that number? What is your step-by-step process to getting to that number?
Yeah.
And he would be like, okay, so I would calculate how far the job is, charge the gas, and then depending how many gallons it is. And he just says, break down your work, just break it down and like actually break it down, add it up, and then you'll get to that number and then give them that number. And if they say yes, they like it. If they say no, then
move on.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point too, because a lot of people think when you're starting a business, A, you have to know how to bid right away, which you don't.
No.
You learned. But B, they assume if the person doesn't like their price that, oh, I'm not going to make any money and that, you know, I might as well just stop now.
yeah.
I think that's a good point to hit on, that if that person doesn't agree with your price,
Yeah.
then move on, because another person will.
100%.
So that's dope that, number one, your uncle is teaching that, but number two, that you learned that.
Yeah.
And I guess in today, where we're at today, we're in present day. So where do you see Dumpin' AZ going? What do you, I'm sure based on your personality, you have future plans, future goals.
Yeah.
Where would you like it to be?
I would love to be inside of McDonald's demoing commercial buildings and stuff like that. That's where I really want to go. I want to go the commercial route, you know.
So you want to get your commercial license? You said.
Yeah.
So how does that work? I know for me as a real estate agent, I get a license and I'm now able to work commercial and normal residential.
Yeah.
I don't need to go get a separate license.
No, yeah.
So how does it work for you?
So we have to get a separate license for that. Right now, I'm only allowed to do residential jobs. I can only do...
You don't need a license for residential?
No, yeah, I'm fine for that. I'm good. Yeah, I have my LLC and all that, so I'm solid for those jobs. But when it comes to commercial, it's just really different. It's bigger people, bigger contractors are working there. They like to know what's going on, and they just really want you to have your license. I don't think it's like a...
Is it a test? Or?
Yeah, it's just a test. I believe it was like 30 to 40 questions. $4,000, you got to take the test, something like that. It's pretty... I'm not too bad,
do
but
it.
yeah.
Yeah, $4,000 is a great investment.
Yeah,
On
it's a good... You get a good return.
good
Like,
return, but also you're dealing with not a flipper where they're only doing maybe 4 to 5 houses a year.
Yeah, that's what I
where
wanted to touch on.
This commercial base is doing consistent jobs.
Yeah, that's because my job, my work really relies on the market, as crazy as that sounds, because we work more than half of our clients are real estate flippers. That's all
Okay.
we really work with, just house flippers.
Yeah, because we met at a real estate event.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was trying to do, just put myself out there as much as I can. And I knew that, you know, realtors, not many people, not the common person needs demolition. That's not...
Investor realtors.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is how we met.
It's not that common for someone to just be like, oh, I want to tear out my kitchen, or I just want to tear out this wall right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get calls from like...
Everyday
And-
residential person.
Yeah, an everyday residential person. I gotta find my audience.
Your niche.
Yeah, my niche. And that guy, that my first client was a house flipper, and obviously he's buying continuously. So I'm like, okay, if I got another house flipper, he's gonna keep buying. And now I got a couple houses coming in, and that's what I just went to. I went
Your
to that
target
route.
was flippers and investors.
Just flippers and investors. That's still what I'm targeting right now. With the junk hauling, that's obviously for everybody.
Yeah.
And I have done some jobs residential that they weren't house flippers, like they just wanted to redo their tile, and I went in.
One-off jobs. though.
Yeah,
That's
you know.
probably not as consistent.
No, like I think I can count those jobs. I think it was like 3 or
Yeah.
4 jobs that I had that they weren't house flippers, or they weren't
Okay.
into real estate, or they weren't investors. So
How are you doing your marketing today?
On my market, like
Your marketing. How are you getting your clients?
we're just Instagram, stake signs, those Dumpin' AZ
Posted
stake signs.
signs, yeah.
Posted signs. I'm always posting Google ads, stuff like that. I like to just reach out as much as I can.
Are you doing that all on your own?
Yeah, I wish I had somebody doing that for me because a lot of times I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like,
That's
I don't know
fair.
if it's working or I could probably make it better if I pay somebody. And yeah, it'll be a little bit more expensive, but if the outcome's way better than the way I'm doing it, then shit, I'll pay somebody to do it.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
and you're more return because more businesses come.
yeah, so
See, and that's another thing, bro. People don't get, and that's why people will stay small. I know this guy. He's a real estate agent. He does everything himself. Hanging his sign. He hangs his sign. He does his own marketing. He does the transaction paperwork. Everything part of a real estate transaction he does by himself.
okay.
He does about 40 deals a year. He can't break over 40. And he's 40 deals, you're still making a lot of money.
Yeah, that's.
But I know another girl that does 80 deals. And she's bound to break 100 this year in a bad market. And she has a full-time admin assistant and a transaction coordinator. And I think that's a great point that you hit on because if you want to grow and expand, you just can't do it all yourself.
Can't manage. You're killing yourself.
It comes to who you know, but also you just said it.
Yeah.
You don't even know what the hell you're doing on marketing.
No.
You're just hoping it works.
I'm not a marketer. I didn't go to school for marketing or anything. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Exactly. So why not pay somebody to know how to do it?
Yeah.
And then they're bringing you so much business. Now you focus on what you do know how to do.
Yeah. I'm not gonna try to pick up a new trade trying to figure this out. You know what I mean? Like,
because it's wasting your time. Going back to from the original part of our conversation of you can't dedicate 100% to what you're good at and what you like doing because you got to focus a little bit of effort on this stuff because your business needs marketing. Every business needs marketing.
Definitely.
So I'm glad that you hit on that, bro. We know where Dumpin' AZ's going. They're going commercial. We're claiming it. They're going a commercial route. You're going to be expanding. How many employees you got today?
As of right now, we got about 4 employees, not counting me.
So 4 employees.
Yeah.
And more room to expand. So again, bro, I appreciate you coming on to the show today.
Of course.
Thank you for just taking some time out of your day, but also I would say motivating people today. You're 22 years old. You're running a demolition and junk removal company without even thinking you were going to get into this field.
No, I didn't even know this was a field.
Without even knowing it was a field, and you are out here grinding and making money, bro. And not just a little bit of money, but you're staying frugal. You're making a lot of money and keep putting that money into the business so that way you can keep growing and growing. And eventually you will be like your dad where you're in business for 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
And now you have X amount of employees and things are rolling. So congrats to you, bro. Again, thank you for coming out. Why don't you can stare at the camera there. Why don't you let everybody know where they can find you on social media, your phone number, however you want them to find you. Let them know your company and let them know where to find you.
Yeah, guys. So if you guys want any demolition, if you guys are house flippers yourself or just got junk in general, you guys can find me at my Instagram is just Dumpin' AZ, DUMPN-AZ, just like that. And then my phone number is 602-687-2452. You guys give me a call anytime you guys want. Let me know.
Cool. All right, brother. Hey, I appreciate you coming out. Thank you again. And yeah, man, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thanks for having me, brother. Appreciate it.